All right, y'all. Hey, hey, hey. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You are at the book bar here, and we are so excited to be here with Aja, and we're talking about her newest release, IRL. Um, and in Parable, I love the IRL. We're going to talk about that too, but it's in real life. Yeah, so this is just, it is just, I love this book, y'all. I had so much fun reading it. So let's get into this. Let's get into this. So again, I am your host, Midnight Ace, and today we're live with Miss Aja, and we're talking about IRL, which she has classified as a grown and sexy standalone. Okay, she said standalone, y'all. Okay, about online chemistry, public mess, private feelings, and who don't know, we all been through that, right? Real life intimacy and love that has shown up everywhere it has mattered. Yes, 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 yes. So, welcome, Miss Aja. Hello, hello.
Hello. Thank you for having me, Midnight.
Oh, it is such a pleasure to have you here. I'm so happy that you are here because I could not have missed talking about this book. I couldn't let it go.
That's what I like to hear.
Yeah. So let me just welcome a couple our people in here. We got Miss JB in there. Hey, 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 sister love. How are you? She says welcome. And then we have my reading buddy, Miss Brenda Woodbury. Hey, hey, hey. And then we got Mary Buckner. Hey, Cuzzo, what's going on? Hey, hey, hey. Y'all, if y'all haven't read this book, by the end of this here chat, y'all better have it in y'all book reading, clicked it, and start reading tonight. Because when I tell you this book is shelf worthy, it is definitely that. The characters, you're gonna fall in love with them. They're realistic. The theme of this book is online dating and some social media mess who we all have to deal with on a number of minutes. So you're gonna feel right at home reading this book. But Miss Asha,
Yes.
okay, so I got so many questions about this. Just real questions. Okay, so first of all, uh, this title, so cool the way you wrote the title. How did you come up with that?
So the concept for this story came to me, I want to say over 5 years ago, but I know definitively it's been about 5 years. I
Mm-hmm.
was observing online interactions and realizing the discrepancy, and a lot of the trials and tribulations that people were having, not just in dating, but just in interacting with people on social media, because you have this opportunity to present yourself, online. You can present yourself a certain way. Doesn't mean that what you're presenting isn't you, but some people opt to not show their true selves and only show what they want the world to see. And I think about even in my career, and I know other authors or anybody that has a public facing life knows that you rarely show, most of the time, the
Mm-hmm.
ugly. You show the good things, not in an effort to be phony necessarily for many people, but just to remain positive, to be professional, to just lead with, like on the good foot. But like I said, I was observing just the discrepancy between what was happening in real life and what was taking place online, seeing how so many of those discrepancies were leading to conflicts between
Mm.
people not keeping their word, people not being who they proclaimed to be. When they showed up in real life, they were someone entirely different. Seeing how filters that are fun,
Yeah.
like face filters that are fun for some people, kind of taken over. Like some people, you never see their face. Like you don't know what they look like. This is not judgment. This is, I'm just being like an observer, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
and realizing like, can you imagine what that's like if you're trying to meet someone, get to know someone, and how you met was online and you thought you knew what this person looked like, and then you meet them face to face. It's not even that they're bad looking, but that's not their face, you know. So like just years of observing this phenomenon, you know, of people not being who they are in real life online,
Hmm.
and the conflict that that caused, and wanting to write about that. So I have wanted to write this story for a very long time, but I've just been in the mix with the Soulmates, the Enigma series,
Hmm.
then the Lover series, and some of this stuff is contracted through my publisher, my audiobook publisher. So I needed to get the stories done so I can
Sure,
turn
sure.
them in. So I just decided that after I was finished with Carmen, to fully dedicate myself to this story that was on my heart. So there you go. That's where the title came from. And you know, IRL is the acronym that's used online anyway, for in real life. So it just,
I,
it was going to be called In Real Life, but I knew IRL would be more catchy because of the actual theme being online. So
well, even just not only the title, but just let's bring that cover back up. Because even the cover has kind of like a kind of like a fun, like, blend, and I love all of the spectrum of the colors, right? So then the title just fit. Even the way your name is written is different from everything else. Just everything about this is a little bit different from what we're normally used to seeing from you. So and I think that has something to say for it too. Now I do remember reading, um like, your message to us before we got started into the book. You did say that this book had been, kind of sitting for a while, and you said that the characters didn't even have names yet. So would you classify, because like I read some stories that maybe they don't make it really truly, like I can't finish them, or they just really don't make it to my hands. They kind of stay on the shelf. But then when I got a free moment, I'll grab something off, and that story is perfect for my mood right at that point, what's going on in the world, and all of that. And I usually call those books like Such a Time as This, but it sounds like this story was sort of like Such a Time as This. So when it was sitting in the drawer, it wasn't time. It wasn't its time. So would you say that was a kind of a an analogy for this particular story?
well, this story actually sat inside of me. I didn't have a lot of opportunity to write it,
Okay.
because I was in the middle of writing those other stories that I mentioned, but it was always on my mind. And
Mm-hmm.
I remember talking to so many people who would, you know, we get to talking about what I had going on. And I rarely talk about what I'm writing because I'm miserable when I'm writing. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but like I just, I'm, when I am focused, I don't like to talk about what I'm focused on. I
Mm-hmm.
need to get through it. And most people know that by now. But every once in a while, I would say, if I could just finish this story, I got this other story. I really want to write it. It's been on my heart for a really long time. And then Carmen, which was the release before this one, was the story that I kept. I mean, like, because Carmen took a really long time to get out of me. It was like a year, even though other stories had come out. Carmen took a year for me to finish. And I remember saying, if I can get Carmen out of the way and get it out of the way in enough time, then I can get this story out. And I wouldn't tell anybody the title, you know, because some things I just keep close to myself. Like I couldn't hide things like Carmen. Everybody knew Carmen was coming.
Yeah.
Everyone knew, like, but this story, no one knew it was coming. And I love that. When there's no pressure and you can just write, no one knows what's coming. No one knows how long it's going to be. No one knows what it's about. Like I love writing like that because there's no pressure, and it takes me back to when I was a debut writer and no one knew that I was coming out with anything, and I could just be myself and there would be very little expectation, if any. And I missed that freedom. So this felt very freeing to get this story out of me and no one knew that it was coming.
Yeah. 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 You did kind of blindside us with this too. And I kind of agree with, well, Carmen, not so much a tough read, but it was one of those reads where you had to focus to read. And so coming from that release and going into this one here, what was that like? And did you feel like you had to change up your writing style or do anything, different than you normally do when you write a book?
Because I write the first person, the only thing that I need to do is to become the person that I'm writing. And that can be easy or it can be very, very hard. For Carmen, it was hard because she was a very damaged individual. And to understand her was almost impossible because I didn't agree with almost anything that she did. I had to learn to understand why she made the decisions that she made, but I was not okay with the decisions that she made. So it was about learning how to not judge Carmen and to become her for a period of time, which was a long period of time, and to write her story as authentically as I could so that those who did take the time to read Carmen, because I didn't expect her to be like a bestseller. I did not. Like I knew people would not want her story, but she had to come out of me. She had to come out of me. So I did what I did. But I gave her everything I could so that those that gave her the time could appreciate her story and go, you know what, I see her. No one agreed, but they was like, I see her.
Yeah.
I understand her. I wouldn't do it, but when you've given me what I needed to know in order to understand why Carmen made the decisions that she made. This was fun. It took me back to being like strictly a contemporary romance writer. That's my thing. I mean, I love women's fiction. It's always part of my voice. And I think that's because I love empowering women. I love talking to women. I love listening to women. I do this for women. If men enjoy what I'm doing, but I don't write for men. I write for women. And so women's fiction is always a part of it, but I'm all about the love. I'm all about that chemistry. I'm all about all of that. And this allowed me to get there. And, just to speak about the cover and like my name, like I commissioned the art. Well, actually I didn't commission the art, but I did get the art from an illustrator. And I've commissioned other art from her since, and I worked with a different cover designer on this one. And also I love what she did with my name because my name is so short. And I know one of the things I said to her was like, my name is short and it's almost like my name gets lost on a lot of things. I know if you've ever seen my name on anything featured, it's kind of like,
I know what you mean. Yeah.
And she just seemed to have a solution. I didn't ask her what, like I didn't say do anything, but we had a talk and I was just like, my name is important to me. And so if you have a way in order to make that stand out on this cover, please do so. And she just like, she did what she had to do. Kudos. So I guess hopefully I answered that, but
yeah, no, you did. And then you also mentioned in your blurb before reading the book is that these characters, I'm assuming you knew who they were, but you hadn't given them names. So where did these names come from?
So I'm trying to think if I saw, and I had a conversation with someone recently about, her name is, see, I'm having a brain fart because I actually had this conversation about where her name came from. Talia.
Is it an actress?
It's an actress, but I think she says her name's Talia, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Um,
But
it's gonna come
the
to me.
correct.
It's gonna come to me. But Micah's name, I just liked Micah.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, there's certain names that like stand out to me, and I was like, I've already done Mikhail, and um, I've done some other name like M name. Oh, Malachi. I've done a Malachi.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like so, I was like, M seems to be a thing for me. So I just actually went through some M's, and I was like, okay, Micah. So that's how he got his name. Her. Oh, this is going to bother me. It's going to come to me. Like, let me just look at it real quick.
But the enunciation of it is Talia, not.
It's Talia, and that if you notice, I put in the beginning, I was like Natalia, so that you can
Oh,
get like
okay.
that. It's
Miss that.
yeah. Vaughn. It's somebody Vaughn. She's Terry Vaughn. That's so it
Okay.
starts with Terry Vaughn. Thank you. Woo! Because I had this conversation with someone and I was like, I was saying where the name came from. But as far as Talia, I can't remember how but I knew I didn't want it to be Terry, but I like the last name Vaughn.
Uh-huh.
And so I don't know if Talia just like popped in my head, but names just for me, names are important, but at the same time, I will run out of ideas and I'll look through my friends list too. So if you ever see your last name, it might be you, you know. If we're connected, it might have been you that I got your last name. So yeah.
Yeah. And I do like Micah for him. I don't know, it just fit from the descriptions that you gave. But we also talking. I'm gonna flip flop a little bit, but one of the things I like, what there was a lot of things to like about this story. First of all, it was a grown folks story, right? In every way, in decisions, in the relationship, in the working, and the responsibilities. It was just grown folks business, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the parents of Talia's parents were so funny to me. One of the things, I highlighted a few of them, and I was going to ask you, where did you get these sayings from? Because the one that almost tipped me out of my chair was when the Talia was visiting her parents, and she said her mother is always walking, to kind of keep herself exercising and everything, out there waving at the people like she's running for office. And then the dad is like, yeah, she out there calling exercise surveillance with cardio. I said, where in the world did she get that from? But it was funny. And then you had some other stuff like he described her in a dress that was, it had to be in a fitting dress. And then y'all just give me a moment here, because I kind of highlighted these ones in here. So to me, it seemed like you had a lot of fun with this book.
I did.
Because yeah, so this was the cardio one. She had some kind of and it was something about a yellow dress too that she had. And it was just yeah, I'm gonna find it, but anyway, we're gonna go past it. So I want to ask you about like these sayings, like they're just like right on point. Like, so as you writing this, like, okay, so like let's just kind of set the scene here. You're coming off of Carmen, a really, really detailed book, right? Very emotional, right? Mm-hmm. And then you come into this book, you've been wanting to write this for a very long time. It's fun, it's lighter. And then at every turn, you got these little sayings in here. How did that all work out?
I mean, okay, so it's my brain and just how I think. Like, because I could picture her mother, like all up in the mix, I love writing, I should say, the mature people in my stories. I love writing mothers and fathers, because they are comedic relief. They don't have the pressure of falling in love in my stories for the most part. So they get to be a hoot, like
Okay.
they get to be whoever they are. And I feel like our families are funny. At least mine is, I'm always observing their behaviors, the things that they see, the things that they call out. They have seen and done everything for the most part, And so it's kind of funny because you can't get anything by them. They sometimes let you get, like they
Yeah.
won't remark, but they notice everything because they done been there and done that. So I love that energy, and I love writing about it, and I love giving them personality. Because Talia got a mouth, like she's witty,
Mm.
and she's been tired, like she's tired of the shit that she's had to deal with over the
Yeah.
years, and she had to get that from somebody. And she got it from her mama. Like, her mom is someone who can clock it immediately. She has wisdom, but she's also a very witty and funny herself. I love men that balance that energy. So it's like her father indulges his wife. He loves her spirit and who she is. But sometimes men will act like they don't know what's going on. They
Oh,
always know
I
what's
know.
going on.
Yeah, they
They
know.
just like to be back in the back, where they don't have to have the responsibility because they love chilling. They really want to chill out.
But they
So
want
he
all the
knows it.
goods, though. They want
Oh
all the
yeah, yeah.
goods.
Yep. So he knows his wife is getting all the information because there's pillow talk. Can you just imagine after she done come from the walks around her neighborhood, gathering information, coming back into the house, the two of them, and she chattering on about what she's learned. Like, I could write a story about them. I
I
love,
I know.
I just really enjoy the parents. I love the family aspect, and I think it makes the story so much richer. But to your point, I had a lot of fun. I did. I needed this story, and I needed it more than I knew that I needed.
Hmm.
Um, because there were so many times when I was writing it that my heart just felt so free.
Hmm.
And I just kept saying, like, I pray they love it because I love it. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
I love this story. I'm giving it everything. And I just want them to enjoy it as much as I've enjoyed writing it. And I enjoyed it so much that I was writing so many words a day. Now, that's how you can tell because Carmen was labor.
Hmm.
And there were times that I kept walking away from it because it would get heavy. And I just felt like I was in a really bad place in
Yeah.
her story and in her mind. In this one, I would like my husband would have to come and tell me, babe, you need to get off the computer. Like you got to get off. My eyes had started to get very, very tired. My vision was blurry because I was just spending so much time at the laptop trying to make sure everything was right. Like I just love the story so much. So
Well,
that's
at
my
least you
story.
were writing when you were coming off your emotional roller coaster. At least you were writing instead of pretending that you were doing shopping, out shopping, and pretending that you was doing emotional regulation.
Yeah, yeah. Although I do a bit of that myself. I
Yeah,
love perfume, and so that'll be my thing whenever I just need to, like change the script a little bit. I will go do a little bit of therapy, just like Talia did with her friend.
yeah, yeah. I was just going to take a minute just to welcome some people who've been commented in here. Hey, Miss Brenda, thanks for joining us. And then we had Shay Baby, my slick partner, is in the house. Hey, Shay. And then we got Katina. Katina, thank you so much for joining us. And then we have another author. Let me just also Pam Kelly, who is also an author in the room. So let me stop and give her some props. And then also Michelle Sims. The author of My Favorite Nephew. She is in the house. So hey, Miss Michelle.
Take
And
care.
then let me see. Yeah, it's your cousin, she says. And then you says made you seen you grown up. But at least it was grown up stuff though, you know. But also too, like, so you just came back from One Love too. So did you have this book available for One Love? And
I
and
did.
how did the readers receive it?
This book was gone, and it was maybe an hour. It might have taken an hour for it to be gone.
Mm-mm.
Because I told my husband, who was my assistant, I said, okay, we're gonna put so many out, and then we're gonna keep some down here under the table. And I just had to keep pulling them out from under the table. Some people, they immediately descended upon the table and was like, this is what we came here for. This is what we want from you. And so it was a blessing. It's a beautiful cover. Like it's just,
Yeah.
I mean,
It
it's a
draws
beautiful
you. It
cover,
it it draws
and it's
you.
a
Over-
sticky, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's just a really good. I don't know. Like if I'm a paperback person, this would be the paperback that I would definitely want. So
Yeah. You had a couple of things going on with that. Like you said, the name for sure stands out. Uh Having the acronym instead of the name was key. And then the colors and all of that blended in there. And just because you can see the outline, and then you just got a little caption of the two characters on there, right? So
mhm.
yeah, the book draws for sure. It
Thank
draws.
you. Good.
Um, but now, so when you know your blurb that you said you promises, online chemistry turning into real life intimacy, and what did you want the readers when you started out writing this? I know you said you gave us a little bit of a hint of what you were looking for, but how have you said you had some people in your inbox? What were those comments like, and how did they make you feel? And
Okay.
what if you could share some of the comments of how they felt about the book?
So it's been mostly, well, all the way, I think. I mean, I try not to read the reviews. I never go to Goodreads. I feel
Mhm.
like that's not a good place for an author to go to be honest. Um, but the ones that I saw on Amazon early on, I would say after week one, when I had to gather some reviews for some promotions that I was doing, I saw some, and it looked all positive. Now the inboxes were funny. Like it, it was like, girl, you said this is grown, grown. They are grown, grown.
Yeah.
They doing grown, grown stuff. Um, it's been nothing but a good time in the inbox. Women feeling seen, especially in the dating world that exists now. I didn't have to go through any of that. When LeBron and I got together, my husband and I got together, the only thing that was out was I think MySpace and like Black Planet and
Okay.
that kind of thing, but it wasn't the way that it is today. And you really had to carry on your relationship in real life.
Mm.
Sure, you could do a long distance thing, but at some point you had to connect because there wasn't this much technology that could allow you to carry on and not talk
Right. Right.
and not see each other. And because you couldn't see each other, there was no camera phones and any of that. I think there were webcams maybe, but if you
Hmm.
recall, webcams would be grainy. um,
Hmm.
we mostly had dial up, so the connection would be spotty at times. It wasn't a good situation to carry on a relationship without being face to face. So I didn't have that type of dating life, and I needed to conduct our dating life in person, and you had to be who you were, because
Yeah.
when you see somebody, how you going to pretend, you can't really pretend. So to know that women are going through this experience where men, pretend to be one thing. It's not just women pretending. I mean, everybody's pretending. Like everybody is lying.
Right.
And
Right. He
listening to
said as
women's,
much.
yeah, listening to women's horror stories and paying attention, and then to have them in my inbox telling me like, this is how it is, this is how hard it is. You've given us a voice. We wish we had a Micah for many different reasons. I mean, Micah
Yes.
is a good
But Micah has some of those same internal experiences that the women, we know women have them, but the men, we forget about the men. But it was him too, and you really felt it when they were at the mixer, and he said like, wow, she really is who she is online and in real life, and then, but also too, those characters, even though it looked like, you knew you were going to have a happy ending, and it looked like it was all fun and, and games, those two really had to decide to be vulnerable instead of, closed up, because I guess from their internal experiences, they weren't good,
Right.
so, but they had to make a decision to be vulnerable and to love unperfectly, because nothing is perfect, right? And so they can go on and on and on, and it's not going to be perfect. But the thing is that, they said your words is cheap, but your actions, it says a lot. And I think Micah, even though he messed up, that 1-2 times or whatever, he owned up to it. You don't see that a lot. You see excuses. But when he finally he knew it was something, he just couldn't put his finger on it. But then when he realized what it was, he immediately stopped everything. And right? You don't see that a lot. I mean, if you do, it's not shown on social media. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And I do know some people who have, and you know what, guys, if you all feel like sharing, let me know in the comments if you've ever had or did online dating, and how was your experience with it. I do know a couple of people that I worked with, and I was like, I've been married for a long time, so I don't even know what that looks like, right? Because I have to read it vicariously through that. But and when I was scared of all the horror stories that I was hearing, and so when some of my friends were, leading to online dating, I was like afraid for them, right? And even my own kids too, because it's a thing now. And when I read this, but some of them have gone on to marry and still married now today. They have families and everything. So there is some good on it, but there's a lot more horror stories that we hear about than the good. Not to say that there's more horror than good. It's just we hear about the horror stories. So if she's yeah, hey Kimmy, she said, Lord, online dating ain't for me. I hear you. I hear you.
And she's a birthday girl.
Okay, Pam. Yeah, Pam. This was a good story. It's like it's a real story. You know what I'm saying? Like you would definitely see this kind of stuff for real, right? Hey there, Miss Jennifer. How are you? Thank you for joining us. Yeah. So I don't know with this, but I do know that he showed us. They both showed us their vulnerability, because they are both in their rights, very strong and independent people, right? They were unapologetically them. So to see them, break down those barriers and take that journey, it was good to see that.
When Micah saw that ass, excuse me.
Well, it had to be something, right? It had to be something. But in his defense, though, he saw the ass first.
Yes, he did.
But then he saw everything else. Yeah.
Yes. And then she started to talk, and it was like, okay, so you can actually think, like you're actually everything that you project yourself to be. So it's not a projection. You're being yourself, and this is a wonderful thing. And I think that was disarming. And because I'm a romantic, and I love writing romance. And the thing is, most romance writers enjoy that element of like fate.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like these people are made
Mm.
for each other. And so I'm putting them in an environment where they're going to meet each other, but they're made for each other.
Yeah.
So like the timing is right. They're both looking for something, even if they're not saying that they are. Because I also love that part. I love when people are positive and secure in themselves and sure that they can do this life just this way, while at the same time that little inner voice is like, but it is lonely sometimes. It's lonely
Yeah.
sometimes, you know, like let's just, sometimes we gotta be real. I'm not saying that's my situation, but when you talk to enough people and you talk to enough women and you listen to them and they feel comfortable enough to talk to you and tell you the truth, it's like, yes, I can do this on my own. I've been doing this on my own. I
Mm-hmm.
don't want no fool in my life. I won't tolerate it. Been there, done that. If I have to do the rest of this life on my own, I will. But yes, sometimes it gets lonely. Yes, I do want someone to hold me. Yes, I do want someone to put me through that mattress. I just don't want it to be anybody. I want it to be someone real.
Yeah.
And I gave Talia that person, and I gave him, you know, someone who could have fun with him and enjoy his intention, because he was very intentional.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that he wanted, like he went for it with her. When he decided, okay, I want this woman, he didn't play no games about it. He let her know immediately, like, you
Mm-hmm.
know, I'm pressing. I want this. Like, I want to talk to you more. I need to see you. Like, now I want to see you. Let's meet.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed writing the scene where they're on the phone. And like, there's a point where I have him leaning against the window. And as I did it, I was kind of like, I wonder if anybody will catch how I'm moving him around,
Yeah.
because that goes back to the time when we used to talk on the phone. When you would be talking to a boy that you like, or a guy, a young man that you like, you would be out in outer space. Like you would just be on the phone, moving all around, you know, like in different positions. You were so immersed in your conversation. People don't talk on the phone anymore.
No.
They spend so much time texting.
And
And
he like you said, he was intentional because they were texting. Well, they were more inboxing,
right.
and then she said something, and he, you know, he gave the number, and then
Right.
they were still uncomfortable, so they were texting, and then he was the one that was making all of these transitions, because then he says, "Okay, I'm gonna call."
Right.
You know, yeah.
Right.
So, yeah, you're right. We don't talk, but then I also feel like I had a thing at work. If I'm emailing somebody, or even if I'm texting somebody and we not on the same page, by the third message coming back, listen, you done lost me. Now, if you don't call me or you don't answer my phone call, that's a dead issue until you come to me correct, because I cannot. Because when you're typing, you know, there's so many different, you know, when you're writing, just the words, depending on how you're using those words, can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people, right? So you can find yourself apologizing for something, or saying something, oh, no, I really didn't mean that,
Right.
kind of thing. So I love how he just says, you know, he was an adult about it, responsible, and he just said, you know, I wanted to hear your voice.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And his sister too was, I loved his sister and his niece.
Yes.
So, but even when they went to dinner, like, it was like they clowned, both of the families clowned them. Like, he was like, I don't know what he expected to be sitting at the dinner table and then up under the table just texting. Like, that's a teenage thing to do, you know.
Just
and then
thumbs are going.
Right. And then the dad is watching the game. Like we said, the dads, they be listening, they be ear hustling. They don't want to take the responsibility of answering no questions. But I hear you. And then, okay, I'm going to ask her later when everybody is gone, right? And then he walks up in there and says, who got that boy gone? Or you that boy gone.
Exactly.
But yeah, you had a lot of things in here. When I saw standalone, you know me, I'm gonna find somebody that carry this story because I just you don't want to let it go. Like Miss Brenda Woodbury was just saying she's read it several times. I've read it several times. I think Brenda Valero has read it, a couple of times. It's just one of those stories, like like I said before, if I had to sum this up in a few words, it's just a good old story. It's just a good old story. You know what I mean? It's one of those ones that you can, if you're feeling like just, Monday morning blues or something, you pick this up and you read it.
I love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It means a lot to me because I just put my heart in and I just wanted to have fun and I wanted the grown folks. And when I say grown, I think some people might have an age in mind, but I don't. I feel like I've been grown a long time. I've been a little old lady for a long, long time. I just feel like there's an energy of grown folks. Well, you done playing them little games. You're over it. You know who you are, you know what you want, and you want to be with someone who knows what they want as well.
Yeah.
And that feels very grown to me. That decision, the intention behind it, the sensuality behind it as well. All of those things, because like Talia was really into herself, not in a selfish way, but in that caring about herself way. I thought that was important as well. And I remember being in my early 20s and not so much into those types of things, but at some point you get a routine, a skincare routine, just like you start dry cleaning your clothes and stuff because you realize that you want your clothes to last for a good time. You also have spent some money on them threads.
Yes.
You want your hair to look nice, and it's important to find a stylist that knows how to care for your hair and not just give you cute styles. And so these types of things, like I put into Talia because I was showing her grown woman status, and so I just had so much fun with it, and yeah, that's the best way I could put it.
Yeah. Well, like I said, we had fun with it too. Like I said, you love the characters. Once you get the characters, you pretty much locked in, and then it was a story that we haven't seen. And I don't know about like my reading buddies that kind of have been through the same journey I have. We asked for those mature couples. They don't have to be like oldest, but I even like every now and then a story with like 60s, anywhere from 40s to 60s. Because I think when we first started this journey of reading romance, they were typically younger, like 20s and 30s and stuff like that. But we're older now, so we want to see what people like us are doing, like in our age group are doing. So kudos to you for that, for giving us that. You did give us that too in the Enigma series too. So that was pretty
cool. And I'm going to keep, I won't, one of the things I said to someone kind of recently, that if I continue to write characters in their late 20s and in their 30s only, that I was avoiding a part of myself. Because I'm in my mid, moving to, really, I'm past the mid and moving towards my late 40s. And if I don't write in my own age group, I'm avoiding me. I'm saying that I'm not worthy of love. I mean, I have it, but that the people and women my age aren't worthy of love. And that's the opposite, complete opposite. This is a really great time to fall in love. And so I don't like avoiding myself. I feel like writing has helped me to explore more of myself, and I want to continue to do that. So I've enjoyed writing all the ranges and seeing that I've been in my 20s, I can write it. And I've been in my 30s and I can write it. And I'm observing people in their 50s and their 60s. I'm very close. I told you before we started the show, I really love, and I'm going to say older, but I don't necessarily mean old. I'm just saying people older than me. I enjoy listening to them. I enjoy the wisdom of it all. I enjoy that big sister or auntie experience that I have with women. And so I'm always listening and learning, and I put that into my characters when I'm writing them in their more mature years. So I trust and believe you will see more older 40s, 50s. Again, I'll come back to some of my 60s, if even if they're in the secondary characters, and again as main characters. I'm not going to avoid us. I love it. I love us too much, and I think that we all deserve our stories to be told.
Yeah. Let me just say this too. Miss Brenda says that even the final chapter was unforgettable. Like, yeah, it just, I just, like I said, just simply put, it was just a good story. But then we had Katina says, yeah, exactly. And I think these characters showed that, like, they didn't want to play the games. And I think the moment that they felt like either one of them was going to kind of, fall into that bucket, they they were prepared to walk away.
Mm.
They were prepared to walk away. And so, and I think that's what we should all do. If it's not, if it's not going to be following your process and you all can't come on one accord, then yeah, don't waste your time, because life is too short for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I agree with that. Yep, Kimmy, I agree with that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and she has some good characters too. I love the journeys that she take her characters through too. But not to say that I don't like the younger ones as well, but a good mixture, of them is really kind of what I'm looking for. Yeah, true that, true that, true that. So now gosh, I can't even believe it's almost time. But anyway, just a couple more questions. Like, I'm just gliding through here. Um, so over to date, you have over 50 books,
Mm-hmm.
right? And they kind of range from romance, romantic suspense, some women's fiction and everything, and now this. So what would you say, from the very first book? I think it was the Love series. What was that, your first series? It was I don't
Love
know.
and Passion.
Series. Yeah, it wasn't a love series. I don't think you called it that.
So there are the stories. The first one that was published was Unexpected, that Roy Glenn was on. He was more
Mm-hmm.
like an and, because he contributed, I think, like a chapter or two.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second story was uh I Am Yours, but I actually started I Am Yours first. So like when I talk about my writing journey, I usually start with I Am Yours because, for one, it's my own, it's like just mine.
Mm-hmm.
And I started it first. It just took me so long to finish it.
Mm-hmm.
And I know now why it took me so long to finish it. But yes, that was the first book in the Love and Passion series. And all the books in that series are like, they're standalones, but they're interconnected standalones.
Right. And that's pretty much how you write all of your
Most
books.
of them.
Yeah.
Most of them. The Soulmate series is an exception because
Oh, yep.
you have to read them, in order, I think. And then the Enigma series, the trilogy, at least, like with Smoke, Maestro, and Slick, you need to read those because there's a story arc that is happening, so you need to read those in order. Um, but like the majority of the other stories are interconnected standalones. I like the duology, this Wicked Knights and Queens,
Mm-hmm.
um, Queen's Heart. Those that you should probably read in order as well. Yeah.
Okay. Well, normally, if there is more than one book in the series, I always try to read them in order anyway, because I'm just nosy and I'm thinking I'm gonna miss something. So I'm gonna do that. So with that first story till now, would you say that you're a different writer than when you started?
Oh
And
yeah.
if so, how so?
Hmm. That's tough. That's a really good question.
Because I've seen you
Um,
grow over the years. Because I remember I knew you before I met you
mhm,
because I knew Roy and Glenn, and I remember being at RS&J, and everybody that would come near him, he was giving them a card with your name on it. And I think it was a book, probably the book that the two of you all did together.
mhm,
And I liked Roy, so I was like, okay, yeah, I'll give her a chance. And then I remember coming home, looking you up, didn't see anything for a while. Then that book came out, and then immediately that other book came out, and then that was it from there
mhm,
for you. So I've been following you ever since. But you were a lot quieter then,
mhm.
and I think now you're kind of breaking out of your shell. But do you feel like you've changed? Has the industry taught you anything where it has changed you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So a couple of things that about the writing, I think that I have learned the art of starting and finishing a story, and that has made a world of difference for me because in the beginning I would start and then not know how to get to the end. Like, just I would have nowhere to go. Like I just rambling on, but not so much with words, but with my thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I just think my process of starting a story and knowing where I'm going with it is a lot more tight, and that allows me to really to complete my stories. Also, I have learned how to, especially I think the Enigma series made me more wordy.
Mm-hmm.
So when you start to add in a suspenseful element, you've got to put more in there, and that will make you more of a writer because there's more plot. There's a lot more going on, and so I think that that made me more wordy. I remember my stories leading up to the Enigma series were anywhere from they were more so novellas, I would say, and then when I got to the Enigma series, those were more full length stories, 60,000 words,
Yeah.
65,000 words, and I was really shutting myself down because um, I wanted to make sure I was succinct and I was moving on to the next story
Okay.
and getting through the plot that way. Until I got to the origin stories where I felt like I could be very free with that because we're talking the past. And as long as I don't change too much of the canon details or none of the canon
Mm-hmm.
details, but in one case I had to, um, then I could just like let it fly. I think that adding in the historical fiction added another layer
Mm-hmm.
that it helped me hone my voice, I think. And um, just learn how to communicate my character's feelings a lot better. For some reason, I don't know what, but something clicked. And I had so much fun with them while at the same time they were a lot of hard work, and Carmen is the exception. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um
Still a good book, though.
it's
Still
probably
a good book.
I feel like my historical fictions, although I don't go way back in time, but I feel like they're probably my greatest pieces of work as far as what I had to do in order to write them. Um, Shine was the first time I went in the past, but Soul Star, which is she's an ancestor of the Soulmates women. Well, she's an ancestor, but she's Zora's mother. Writing her story and going back to the 50s was deep for me, and like I said, it was probably my best work. The narrator for that story, which it comes out in audio in August, she like caught up with me at Black Romance Book Fest just to tell me how powerfully moving Soul Star was when she narrated. She said, I have got to tell you, this was something special. And that just let me like it was affirming for me because I knew that I put a lot of myself in there.
Mhm.
Zora and her mother came from Alabama and moved to Pittsburgh. And that's something that my family, that's how we came here to Pittsburgh. from Alabama to Pittsburgh, and there were just some things that I took from my own family's life, and I placed inside of the characters of the Soulmate series. So it's very personal to me. And as far as you asking, like, has the industry changed me? I think it's made me more business minded in some
Mhm.
ways, focus more on how to market and leverage my art. But I don't think that my heart has changed.
Mhm.
I've
Mhm.
gotten quieter in a lot of ways online. So while I may be more, I think I'm bolder in person, more willing to talk and speak up in person. I've gotten quieter online because there's a lot of nastiness
Yeah.
online, and
Yeah.
people are waiting for you to say the wrong thing and just take it and go somewhere, and they'll talk 40 days and 40 nights about what you said and what you did. So I'm much more careful about the words that I put out online. But in person, I've learned to be more engaging because I've always been this person. I was
Mhm.
always thinking this way. You just didn't know it because I was quiet.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know? And
And
so,
quiet is not a bad thing. Sometimes you need to be quiet to observe,
oh yeah, absolutely. And I
before you
still do
move.
that.
Yeah.
I still do that. But when you're in at an event, for instance, and you're quiet, no one will get to know you.
Do that.
You're quiet, and they don't know how to take that quiet either. People are very uncomfortable with quiet, and that's okay. But like I said, when you're trying to engage with readers, meet readers, and you want them to read your books, quiet isn't going to work. They
Mm.
need to know something about you, and part of that means that you've got to all these thoughts that's in your mind. You have to start to project them some kind of way, and that's what I had to learn how to do. I was always thinking, "Oh, she's pretty. Oh, then look at that dress." You know what I mean? Oh, you got an interesting voice. And like anybody who's met me knows, I now say those things. Like
Yeah.
I don't have any problem telling you how beautiful you are. Before I wouldn't say that. I would just think it.
Mm.
And for some reason thought people would just like have psychic energy and they would just
Right.
know
Right. Right. Yeah.
that I was like complimenting them. But instead, they probably thought like she's staring me down. So I just think that I've learned to become more of myself and to be a better version of myself. And as far as writing the same thing, learning how to allow myself to be free while also learning the business
Yeah.
so that that freedom is honed in the right way.
Yeah. Yeah. I think COVID has taught people to be more business like because a lot of people reinvented themselves
That's true.
during that time. So, hi there, Miss. I think it's Breesky Love. She says she met you at Raw and she loves all
Oh,
your books. That's really good.
thank you. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Are you
So,
going to be at Raw this year? I'd love to meet you again, see you.
yeah, are you going to be at Raw? You're going to be at
For
Raw,
me?
right?
Yes,
Yeah,
I'm
you're
going
going
to
to be
be
at
there.
Raw. Okay. I'm going to be at Raw.
So we're going to be at Raw.
Yeah, it's right. This is home, right? So you can't be
Yeah.
at home. But yeah, so I'm going to be there. So okay, so what's next for you, Aja?
I have a story that's going to be coming out this fall. I am not ready to give too many details about it, but it is another standalone.
Okay.
And I will say that I really miss football and I'm looking forward to the football season.
All right now. Okay. We can get with that. I do want to agree with Miss Brenda. Listen, that scene, I was trying to find all of my little wordy scenes because there was a scene in there about the old lady saying something about her getting into business or whatever. I can't even y'all read this book because it is some of this stuff is just funny as heck.
And just so you know, because she's here, Mina is named for Kimmy.
Okay,
Just
okay.
so you
We
know, so
loved
Mina
Mina.
Mina is actually a character that is the main female character in Maestro of the
Right.
Enigma series. So yeah, and so she has this appearance here a couple of times in this story because Talia be sweating her hair out, and And so yeah, I had so much fun with the beauty
Yeah.
salon scenes because I've been there, done that. Like, you know, like this is we all been there. We've been into the salon. We know the energy, especially if you go on the same day each time. You will have your comrades, women that you see each time. You will have, you know, conversations with them, and so I really had so much fun in there, and it was like y'all do everything like
Right, right. So he was like, yeah, girl. But you know, I was surprised though that Talia had opened up like she did, because you know, coming from that messiness online and stuff, that just didn't seem like her. But when she started opening up, I was like, okay, girl. And then, honey, them heads was coming up from under them bowls. It's like, he did what?
mm-hmm,
And then the older lady was the funniest as heck, man, because she
mm-hmm.
was on point with everything she was saying,
Everything. Yep.
right?
Yep. I think when you open yourself up to love, you open yourself up, period.
Yeah.
Your heart opens up and you become, not that you become different, but you become another version of yourself. I feel like sometimes we meet a version of a person, and when we meet another version, we think they switched up. But
Yeah.
that's not always the case. Sometimes you just meet another part of them. And it just takes certain circumstances to bring that part out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I have an aunt, she's a Gemini, and I always say she don't got it ain't twins, she got there's quadruplets. You know what I mean? Because I feel like
Sometimes, yeah.
everybody has multiple sides to them. Her being a Gemini, she got more than just multiple sides. She got all the field everywhere, you know. And I feel like all of that's her though. It's all
But
her.
but I think when you first meet somebody, and especially under certain circumstances, is more than others, that you're gonna first get that guarded.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna be guarded, and then you know, because how do I feel around this person? That's how I do business too. Like if I'm going into a store and you know, and somebody is waiting on me or something like that, if they giving me them vibes like or this, I'm like, no, I'm good.
Right.
I'm good. I'll tell you a short story. I went to we have a little cafe in our job, and it was at the end of the day. I needed just a coffee, pick me up or whatever. I was tanking. And I go to get there and I wanted to try something different. Normally they'll say, oh yeah, it kind of tastes like this, kind of tastes like that. And she was just like, you might not like it. And this, and then I said, and it was going back and forth. And then I said, you know what? Maybe this ain't the right thing for me. I'm good with that, you know, because I just cannot. Don't give me attitude, especially when I'm spending my money. Ugh,
Exactly.
no, I cannot. But yeah, so I want to be at Raw. Come on, JB, come on and be at Raw. I'm gonna be at Raw. Hey there, Miss Tony. What's going on? Oh, and Miss Brenda's gonna be at Raw.
Will be at Raw.
Yeah. Come on, that's what I say, Miss Brenda. So it's gonna be good to see you, Brenda. It's been a minute. But anyway, so you got that. So let us know where we can connect with you for, you know, stay connected with you with all your new, you know, everything that's upcoming. Do you have a newsletter? Let us know how we can get the newsletter and everything.
So if you follow me on social media, it would be Aja the Writer, AJATHEWRITER. And my website is ajahthewriter.com. And if you go to ajahthewriter.com, you can sign up for my newsletter there. And then you will be one of the first to know about my new releases, any contests that I'm having. I sometimes do newsletter exclusives. So every once in a while, someone will see something like evidence of a story that they didn't read, and they're like, whoa, where'd that come from? You sign up for my newsletter and you have access to that. I typically don't charge for those little things. Those are freebies and my ways of saying thank you. So definitely sign up for the newsletter, and you'll know what's going on. And then follow me on even Amazon, because you'll be notified of new releases, I think.
Yeah, and Amazon, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm gonna put some links in here in the chat on Facebook and in on YouTube. So for your website and also for the website for Raw. So make sure you guys check it out. You know, go on the Raw website and see some of the experiences from. Yeah. Y'all, the Queen Bee has spoken.
Yeah, I know that's right.
And then Aja, you are your website is
yeah, Aja the Writer, AJATHEWRITER.
Okay, so is that www.com on
Yes.
that? Okay. Okay. So guys, I'm putting this in the comments here. AjaTheWriter.com. So you guys can go on there, reach out for her newsletter, and then look around. She may have some stuff in the catalog. If somebody is new to you, Aja, and would like to pick up something to read for you, what would you suggest would be the first something that they would pick up first?
That's one of the hardest questions ever. But I will say that it's about vibe. So I have a few different suggestions depending on what you really want to get into. If you don't want to commit and you just want to stand alone, I would say IRL, of course. But the other one would be Mr. Big Stuff, because I think that it gives similar vibes. It has some comedic relief in it, and there's a lot of sexiness in it, and you don't have to keep, there's nowhere. It's part of an anthology, so you can read other stories, but you don't have to keep going in my catalog if you don't want to do that. The other thing is, if you like something that's more like sensual, has some spiritual elements, you're just looking for like a good feel good romance and just soulmates vibes, then I would say the Soulmate series, and that can lead you into the Enigma series. But if you want to start with the Enigma series because you like a little grit, you like a little bit shoot 'em up bang bang, I would say the Enigma series, and you start with Smoke with that, and that will take you into the Soulmates world as well. And I think that's it. I mean, I have a lot of other. I got a lot. I mean, really and truly, I have been very busy, and so there's a lot to do. There's a lot of places to go, but those are my recommendations usually, because I think it leads people to other places.
And if you're looking to see Aja this year, we know you're going to be at Raw on the weekend of October 31st this year in Peoria, Illinois. You just got back from One Love. Where are you going to be? Any place in between now and October?
Please, no, okay. No.
All right. So she will be back in the Midwest with us here in Peoria, Illinois for Raw. And so if you come into Raw, she'll be there, and I will too, and Crazy Shay will be too. And she's already said y'all better be there too. So let's see. Okay, and Smoke, somebody is giving Smoke a shout out. So if you think you want some little bang bang on that, we got an amen here from the audience. I will recommend it as well. But if that is all, we're gonna let you have any last words you have for the audience. Any thing you want to say to us?
No, just thank you for coming and joining tonight. And I hope that you take the time to read in real life. And if you do and enjoy it, please leave a review. I'm trying to get my readers back into the habit of leaving a rating or review. So if you can take some time to do that, that would be great. But otherwise, I just appreciate your support, not just here, but in real life.
All right. Very good. Very good. And again, Midnight Ace at the Midnight Ace Book Bar. And if you like interviews like this, don't forget to like this video here and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss when I have others out there. I'm going to be having some new people coming on at the end of August. I'm in a work thing right now where I'm going to have to focus. So I wanted to make sure I got a chance to talk here because I didn't want to wait.
On this midnight for real, like I really enjoyed myself.
This one here, I was just like, okay, because it would, like I said, it was. I read some of the other stuff, and then Carmen was, like I said, it was a good story too, but it was a serious story. But then when you came out with this and all of that, and guys, if you don't do nothing else but read this story, I want to hear your comments on some of these little anecdotes that's in here, because I mean they are funny as heck. So anyway. Pick up IRL and any other thing that might interest you from her catalog. So that is all for now. So we will see you next time. So make sure that you be kind to yourself and to others. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.